Chat. What a day. Oh my goodness. The meetings. Sometimes they come out of nowhere. They crawl up out of nowhere. And so yeah, sorry that I'm a little bit later today. And yes, I know I'm not visible yet. I am aware. All right. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Joppa here. Really good to be back with you again. We had snuck in a little bit of a cozy stream yesterday, which was really cool, really fun. But it is Monday, and we all know how Mondays can be. So I hope everyone is having a good one, relatively good one. Has it been a busy Monday, chat? Has it been a busy Monday for you guys? Joskar, what's up, Joskar? I think you are the bona fide first. We've got Black Fox, Kurgan, Homercles. How am I supposed to waste my workday watching a stream when my workday's almost over by the time the stream starts? I know. Hey, I know. I wanted to be here earlier. It was not in the cards today, but I feel you. Nithier, good to see you. Cut off your head. Glorf, Wolfgar, Maze, Kronzik, Artemis, BTC, good to see you guys. Salted Hash, Flourishing, Alinar. Welcome. Whitewood, Albatross, Visibility, Kazakh, Wiki Wacky Woo, Malkale. Good to see you guys. Lone Dog, welcome. Snickerdoodle, welcome. We got Death to Gnomes, T-Chief, Nicodemus, Jazz and Blues, Primus. What's up, guys? Good to see you all. Sheesh, Mana Bruhan, Tavi, Black Lotus, Crit. Welcome to you all. Good to see you guys. Play Twisted, welcome. Thet, Chris, Gris, Ferosin. Welcome, Chris. Your IT guy, Lars, the 40-year-old gamer. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Guts Rage, Tolmart. Good to see you guys. Palolin, welcome. Beastly, welcome. Also, thank you so much, Play Twisted, for the membership. I appreciate that big time. Welcome. Welcome indeed. And also Seawick for the tier 1 and the 18 months of support. That is amazing. Thank you guys so much. It is very appreciated. Very, very much so. Oh. Hey, what's up, Belkings? Good to see you as well. Yes, me and my Secret Sunday. The Secret Sunday stream. Yeah. We snuck it in there. Toprim with the 25 stream streak. What? That's awesome. And Kurgan with also the 25 stream streak. Wow. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. That's sick. I am back, Joppa. My guild is repopulating Haven Song. That's what I like to hear. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I've gotten a few messages from some various different guilds that they are coming back. Some of them are coming back already, and some of them are gearing up to come back in the spring. So it's exciting. Very exciting. Speaking of exciting, yo, Wiki Wacky Woo with the 10 gifted subs. My friend, thank you so much. That is amazing. That is so cool. Thank you, Wiki Wacky Woo. I could say W's, W Wiki Wacky Woo, because there's all kinds of W action already going on in there. So thank you, Wiki Wacky Woo. That's really cool. I'm going to not say your name again because I think I'm in danger of mispronouncing it if I keep saying it, because it's not easy to say that many W's in a row. And Ogre 2 as well with the tier 1 and the 20 months of support. Excited for the spring updates. Me too, my friend. Big time. Good to see you, Ogre 2. Thank you so much for that. Thank you guys so much. Today, I'm still reeling a little bit, guys. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I don't think I could say Wiki Wacky Woo 5 times fast. Wiki Wacky Woo, Wiki Wacky Woo, Wiki Wacky Woo, Wiki Wacky Woo, Wiki Wacky Woo. Yeah, I think 3 times without any pause at all is kind of my limit. That's when it starts to feel close to going off the rails. Oh, Paul, one sec, guys. All right. Hey, guys. Sorry about that. What's up, Shoklin? Good to see you. If you say Wiki Wacky Woo 3 times in the mirror, a Wiki Wacky Woo will appear. Might have to try that. Might have to try that. Okay. Sweet. Hey, what's up, Fringe Loop? No wife aggro. She had just gotten home. She was filling me in on a couple of things. That is all. Hey, Joppa, just curious, when was the last time you played EQ? Was it when Teak launched? I think it was Teak. I think it was when Teak launched. Yeah. So it's been a little bit, and I didn't play much when it launched. Like, I just didn't have it. You know, I don't have a lot of time, if you can imagine, to game, just straight up game. So, but yeah. Better not. Maybe Woo gets wickedly whacked. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still reeling a little bit today, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really I don't know. I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it. Yeah, I know, right? Acting like you have a game to develop. I know. It's almost like I have something that is like a massive life goal to complete that is very difficult and rather all-consuming. You know, all while having a wife and 3 children and other things, you know, going on. So don't quite have as much time for just some free light gaming as I would like to have, but you know, it is what it is. I count myself very blessed, though, to get to do something like this. It is very worth. Let's see. But yeah, I saw a picture today where it looks like it's reporting now on Steam to actually like officially be shut down. And I don't know, this made me sad. Something about that just made me sad. You know, I saw this. This is what I saw. So this is not. I don't. This is a screenshot I saw on X. I didn't take this shot. That's a lot of tabs. Not that I, you know, don't often have a lot of tabs up, but yeah, it just kind of hit, you know. Anyway, so I know, and that's coming from me, like not having been super invested, in the sense that, you know, I hadn't played it yet. So I know there's people that have put just a insane amount of time in, and yeah. Love the fact that you jump in game with players and experience the game yourself. It means a lot. Well, it's been amazingly helpful too. I mean, honestly, it's been really, really good. Did I know anyone working on the project personally? I did, actually. Yes, I did. Hey, Fringe Loop, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate that so much. Big time. Hey, Jadden. Yep, all is well. All is well. Yeah, it's stunning, V-Trick. Yeah, I felt the same way. I think a lot of people felt the same way. You know. Yeah. It's sad. But you know, these things are not easy to make, and my focus is staying squarely on, you know, making sure that, as much as it depends on me, that Pantheon reaches that finish line, which we all know is not a true finish line, because when do these games ever end? But we are still marching heavily to that true 1.0 launch, my friends. And we will get there. We will get there. All right. So I want to start off by there's this little model that I want to finish real quick. Let's get a light in here. So today we're going to be doing some actual dev stuff. I might do a little bit of some gameplay later, but we'll see. We shall see. that? Purpley man. It's not spring yet. It's Dissy. I wish it was. Is this a Necro model? No. Well, not, at least not currently. These are some of the things we're working on for Nightfall. And I needed to finish getting this set up real quick so I could not be wondering about it or thinking about it any longer. Just get it checked off the list. I want to see if these little eye effects are working properly. I don't know if they are. I want to see here real quick. Oh my. Yeah, that's ship it. Ship it, right? That's ready to go. Let's do this. It's kind of spooky. What is this set to? It's using unlit particle. What is that? Mm-hmm. So why were they so bright? Is it the light? Surely not. I'm glad it looks creepy. It's supposed to. It's supposed to look creepy. It's supposed to be scary. So I kind of want these to come in just slightly. Yeah, it is a little unsettling, isn't it? Oh, all right. Okay. All right, hold on. Hold on. Want to be lowered out because the skeleton has a lazy eye? That's fair, Glorf. That's fair. Lux. Nope. Doo-doo-doo. This is just fun stuff, guys. Yeah, you kind of have to you almost have to forget that there are people watching when you do this stuff sometimes, because it definitely can be a little, if you think about it too much. Okay. I'm putting like no variation at all into this coloration right now. I just want to see if this, I just want to do a quick look test to see if this is going to be worth it at all. You want the smoke on those eyes as thick as the fog in Spirit Manor? Oh. So you mean like not thick at all then? Just very, very light. Just a whiff of like smoke is what you mean. I got you. Is Pantheon in early access right now? It is. It is in early access right now, indeed. Hey, what's up, Essential? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Oop. These are some interesting. Like, where is it? Hold on. Oh, I know what the problem is. I know. You have to actually play so we can see it. It's such a weird transform going on though. I'm just not really feeling it. I think I need to see if Cody wants to go back and kind of revisit these. We've passed our time frame, guys. If you go too long on any particular thing, it's like eventually you just got to say, you know what? We'll do it another time. What I do want to check though, actually want to see what this guy looks like. Redbeard, hey, I'm going to have an answer for you today. I'm going to have an answer for you today. Let's take one more look, though, at... I don't think that's going to feel as good on the armored ones, though. I think they look pretty sick. I want to take a look at them in game. Bituminous, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the 5 months of support. Thank you. Do we still use assets from Unity Store? We do use a few of them, yeah. I saw your second AOC video, Redbeard. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see it posted. Skeleton Archer, it's D&D. How can you not like the idea? Oh, I love skeleton archers. I love skeletons. I love fighting skeletons. They are the juiciest. It is difficult for me to resist fighting any skeleton that I see, to be honest. Just want to see how these are looking in normal light here. A little bit bright, a little bit bright. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like it. Oh, as a summon. Ah. Oh, I see your other message now. I see your other message. Can we get bows for the skellies? I'd like to have a skelly archer. I see. I mean, I think that's cool. I think that's the cool thing to think about. Skeleton juice. Skeleton juice. That sounds delicious. Delicious. Okay. That is pretty much what I wanted to knock out, guys. So, did we already add this to the... we did. Okay, so that's good. I think we're good. Sweet. That's your only little tidbit. That's your only little tidbit on Nightfall Crypt. There's some other models that I wanted to do a quick pass on, but I'm not going to because I want them to be a surprise. So, what's up, Brindal? Good to see you. Good to see you. What I want to do now, what I would like to do now, is talk a little bit about the summoner. And I want to ask you guys some questions about their summonabling, their summonables, their summonables. Yes, Nightfall Crypt is releasing with the summoner updates. Indeed. With the summonables, yes, summonables. Let's take some and put some in a bowls. That's what I mean. So, I've been working through the weapon summons for summoners. And I wanted to get... it's just a place where I would be interested to get some feedback from some of you. Because, obviously we don't want summoners to, be able to summon... Ooh, I need to... Oh, no, we can just make it work on this guy. We don't want summoners to be able to... Yes, Bronson, even feedback from you. I would go so far as to say especially feedback from you. Especially feedback from you. We don't want summoners to summon items that are just on par with, like, everything else that you can get at that level. We want them to summon things that are, like that's kind of what I want to invite you into that design kind of mind for a second. Like when you think about summoners being able to summon weapons, how do you see that fitting in? And I'll give you my general idea. If you've got, if you want summoners to be able to summon, for example, like daggers or weapon or like swords or axes or things like that, you don't want summoners to be able to take the place of needing to go out and find weapons or quest for weapons or craft weapons. But if the only thing they can summon are just like crappy less than versions, then what's the point of using them? Like, why have them other than just brute flavor? And even going back and looking at, some EQ stuff, like the cool thing about summoned weapons in EQ is that they were magic, and you needed magic weapons to actually like, hit certain things. We don't really have a mechanic like that right now. That was rude. Reagents. Yeah. Yo, what's up, IQ? Yo, anonymous gifter with the gifted sub to a monkey pit. Monkey pit. Well, if summoners can summon weapons that are legitimately good, like the kind of good that like a player would unequip whatever weapon they had equipped specifically to equip a summoned weapon, even if it had a short duration, you know, how would you envision not just resummoning another one? Such that you're kind of constantly feeding players those weapons for when they run out. I think that sound is super cute, but I'm gonna run over here. An imbue proc. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's an interesting way to think about it then, because I really like the idea of summoned weapons. I just think it's cool and it makes sense. Like it fits with their class. You know, they can summon. What can't they summon? You know, so why wouldn't they be able to summon weapons? But I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a video game. There's balance. There's, you don't. Who made that point? It was a good point. Shrapnel. You know, you spend all this time, you know, gaining these weapons and items and whatever on your character, and so a summoner being able to summon something equivalent or better or whatever feels a little. So, but this idea that, you know, summoners are more about summoning kind of a variety of different, you know, clicky / consumable type items that had kind of a broad range of effect, lots of different types of effects. And then it would be up to the player, you know, to decide which one they used, because we could even control that through like a like a shared cooldown group in a sense. So you could have something that, you know, gives health regen. You could have something that increases like outgoing physical damage for a period of time. You could have these various things, but then if you use one of them, you can't use another one until that effect is run out. So that could be an interesting way to manage it. One of the things that I was thinking of too is once we get to the spring and we do, you know, this huge update comes in and there's all these updates to skills and itemization and various things. The other thing that I thought was cool about actual weapon summoning is that, you know, as you're out in the field and you want, you know, because your techniques are going to be a lot more kind of bound to specific weapon types. So you're going to have, you know, sword techniques, axe techniques, things like that. And it may be that you find for a specific fight or a specific section of an area, you really would benefit from an axe as opposed to, you know, the sword and the dagger that you have, but you don't have an axe on hand kind of thing. Then a summoner could summon an axe specifically for the purpose of like scaling up other weapon types or having access to like different techniques for a weapon that you may not have on you. And I think in that sense, it's okay if the summoner summoned items can lag behind the items that are found at that specific level. So they're not quite as good, but they can kind of fill in a gap. But I do like the idea of the, like kind of the weapon attachments, the proc stuff. It's interesting. Mm. Yeah, that does sound cool, Jessica. What's up, Let You Live? Good to see you. Hey, hi, Todd. Summoner summons elemental gem of air, fire, earth, etc. Those are consumable cookies that give the buff proc to wielded Pantheon. The other thing I want to be careful of too, though, is I do want procs to be like special. The idea of like attack procs. So when you're swinging your weapon and you hit, you have a chance to proc something. I think that's a really, I don't want to like overload that. I want that to feel special when you get a weapon like that. I'm not worried about them being an issue with the economy because they would have like required levels on them. So you couldn't just, you know, summon them and hand them like a level 1. And then also, you know, they'd be no vendor. They wouldn't have any, you know, you wouldn't be able to like sell them. Okay. And it also doesn't have to be proc based. I mean, it could just be like, it could just be like add like a flat amount of a certain damage type on like when you hit. So it's not like a proc, but it's like more like a sharpening stone idea. You know, +1, +2 damage. But you can make that, you know, different types of damage. I think that could be interesting. Already levels 1? Yeah. The problem with making them as good as basic, like crafted weapons or like kind of like anything close to that tier. Yeah, I just noticed like that rain looks really good, like falling through like that. It's really nice. It's just that you end up essentially potentially bypassing the need to look for and acquire upgraded items. So if I haven't gotten, I'm just trying to think of the different scenarios. So if I get into a group and I'm like a level 30-ish group, and I don't have like a weapon that really represents my level quite yet, I haven't gotten. If summoners can function like an extension ladder where they kind of have weapons that cover different level bands and can kind of lock you into something more appropriate for where you need to be, then you can just rely on summoners for your weaponry. But then if they lag behind, then it's like, what's the point, you know? Even if they cost a reagent, though, you do get to a point where those reagents build up, and especially once we get an auction house in the game and items are able to move a little bit more freely, I feel like reagents won't become as much of a unless the reagents are like no drop, so you have to actually like loot them yourself. Hey, Job, I've been feeling like playing Pantheon again after being away for some months, but I've heard there's a wipe incoming. Is there a set date for the wipe? Would love to join the reboot. All we've announced so far, Miss Keen, is in spring. We haven't given an exact date of when in spring it's going to be. But we will definitely announce that once we get a little bit closer to that time frame. Yeah. But that's exciting. It's exciting that you think about coming back. It's going to be an awesome time to come back, for sure. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to see the summoner. Some of the summoner updates. So let's get... Hmm. The weapons came later and... Yo, Shazlin, thank you so much for the tier 1. And the 2 months. That's awesome. Oh, and yeah, I'm all for the vision enhancement. Vision enhancements, things like enduring breath. I also think it'd be cool. I mean, obviously, like food and drink. I think arrows is a big one for summoners. I think that'd be really cool for summoners to be able to summon arrows that actually do kind of ramp up a little bit. We need more arrow itemization in the game anyway. So it'd be a cool place for them to, you know, kind of get a little gap coverage for them. I think that would be sick. Oh, my aggro's on. Let me get back over here. I can't see. There it is. I really want to get it working where you can cast... You should be able to cast both your summoner spells and your pet spell regardless of who's like casting first. And I can do it when I'm casting like, oh my goodness. Just make some macros real quick. So if I cast that first, I can cast this with it. But if I'm casting this, I can't cast that with it. So we need to get that fixed. Because it should be totally like asynchronous. I should be able to be always casting one or the other. Boom. Oh, it's so nice. It's so satisfying. So good. So we got the Fury. Let me get the Zephyr out. Boop. In combat. Wait, you don't like my Joppa art? Whoa, hold on. Hold on. Bronsonius. Bronsonius Thicket Suede. Are you saying you don't like my Joppa art? Let me tell you what I would like to see. And the answer is yes. I figured, it sounds like wrongly, that you had your hands full with something else, which, by the way, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this yet. Don't stream what you're working on. Don't stream what you're working on, because I want it to be a surprise, and you know what I'm talking about. And you know why. It needs to be a surprise. I'm sure that you were. Anyway, we want a main color for the magical fury that represents, or that kind of goes with the energy itself, like the little tail energy. But I think it'd be really sick if it was a gradient where the majority of the color was that electric blue, but as it got to the center, it kind of like, almost like a sunset, kind of like blended into this like purple, this like kind of arcane purpley core. So it like goes from purplish, like kind of this gradient blend out into the electric blue. And the majority of it is electric blue, this kind of blue color, but it kind of has that purpley gradient. I think that would be sick. So yeah, if you find time, that would be awesome. A Tony Stark core. All right. So the Zephyr, again, for those of you maybe haven't seen it yet. No, not that. These swords in here. Okay. And Gale step. There we go. All right. I think that would be really cool. Okay, let's try this out. Gale step. We're building up stacks of whirling winds every time we use Windblade. We can use Gale Step into the backstab, Gale Strike on cooldown, even if it's already behind the target. But the Shadow Step behind the target and the backstab are all kind of connected now. And we can build up to 5 stacks. We can use Tempest, which is going to consume those stacks. And the more stacks of Whirling Winds it consumes, then the more damage Tempest is going to do. And of course, you're able to weave in your own abilities. Clash Bomb. Do you guys like having animations play when you give your pet commands? Like, imagine, you know, you're just kind of in this position. You're just kind of in this state, doing this thing. And you're pushing buttons and your pet's doing all kinds of different things, but you're not actually, like, doing anything. Like right now, you know, you give your pet a command and you're like... It won't. It's not an animation lock. So like you can move around while you're doing it. There's no like. It just looks a little wacky when you're. But I mean that goes for any animation that you're doing, really. And most people aren't, you know, frolicking while they're casting. And if you spam abilities, you know, you just do them kind of like all in a row like that. Okay, cool. I mean, I do want to improve it eventually. Like long term, I'd like to see those mana threads, and we tried a few different things, and we're probably going to end up needing to go a little bit deeper in that to get a system that works well. But visually, oh, good. World's going down. I think these wind blades look a lot better than the other ones. A lot better. And you guys have seen the pet armor, right? Throw tier 2 on there. Gonna run out of time. Yep, got it in. Oh, and Bronson, we really need a couple more tiers. We've got 3 tiers of quality right now. We need like 2 more that are like even cooler. Oh, and by the way, we need a new skybox. One that actually reflects the world of Terminus and is not like a 256K resolution texture. Please. Please. Like, please. Oh my goodness. Yes, and uses the right moons. Moons are a little different though because they actually have to be like we can't just like paint the moons, you know? We have to like they actually like cast light and stuff, so I like the skybox too. I like the look of the skybox. It just needs to be like up-resed. Like massively up-resed. Yeah. Juicy Skelly? Feels good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be like an 8K texture or anything. I'm just saying, you know. You know. Baby Roach, what happens if they use Raid? Papa Roach, suffocation, no breathing. Thank you, Dayhawk. Maybe on the big hits, but not for every command. Yeah, I don't know that song. Or what that's referring to, yeah. I don't know. So I'm lost. But that's okay. That is okay. Oh yeah, we had the server came down. Hold on one sec. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, the depth of field. And I like it. I think depth of field, with whatever it's set to right now, I really like the depth of field as it's set right now. I think it's working really nicely. But yes, it's definitely... I wish it wasn't affecting the skybox. That's always the problem I've had with it, is that, like, it's weird for it to affect the skybox to me. Because when you think of, like, real natural depth of field... it just, you know, it doesn't really seem to affect things like that. So, yeah, there's got to be a way either based on the layer. Maybe we can use the layer to exclude it. Because I think the depth of field right now is actually looking really nice in the environment itself. You know what? We do need to do a farther out zoom. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at this right now. Hold on. This has been bugging me too. What's up, Alex? This game is seen as a successor to EQ, but is it fair to compare it to classic WoW in some ways? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the more nuanced answer is that it is absolutely inspired by and is meant to be a spiritual successor to EverQuest, but it is also inspired by classic World of Warcraft, like vanilla World of Warcraft, and I would say safely like up through kind of the Wrath expansion. And the idea has always been like, you have EverQuest as kind of this quintessential progenitor kind of representation of classic MMORPGs. You have WoW that came along and introduced a ton of like quality of life and just overall improvements, including polish and feel and various things. And so what would happen if we embraced a lot of that combat depth, polish, feel, a lot of quality of life improvements and things that WoW did to kind of modernize the MMORPG feel, but kind of stayed true to a lot of the DNA that made EverQuest and those classic, truly classic era MMOs kind of just special. And, you know, kind of found a way to fuse those. That's absolutely what we're aiming for. So I think some comparisons to classic WoW is fair, though there are some very important ways that we're deviating from their model. So, hey, what's going on, Mr. Jiggleballs? Good to see you. Needs more DAOC. That's fair. I'm not old enough to know who Papa Roach is. Who is Papa Roach? What is this? Okay, let's see. I'm looking for a new MMO. I'm playing Lord of the Rings Online from time to time, and this game also shows that feel too. But I like the classic WoW feel and certain quality of life that it brought over time, and this game looks like a good mix of that all. I mean, that's our goal. That is our goal. Yeah. The idea is that classic MMORPGs, which I would, include Lord of the Rings Online into that to a good degree. But we believe that EverQuest is, in our opinion, and I don't even want to speak to everybody else on the team, but I can say for me for sure, my opinion is that EverQuest represents the best quintessential classic MMORPG experience, like the true early day classic MMO. It also happens to be my favorite of all time, and it is kind of a true north for us in terms of like the DNA. And we believe that there are a lot of people who never got to experience that, who would love it, and who would love those early classic MMORPGs. But because they're so old and because they're so like antiquated in their mechanics and their pacing and the quality of life, that a lot of people don't have the right entryway and the right handholds to actually get into and experience it. And so what Pantheon's aiming to do is bridge those two things, where you have all that DNA that made those games so special, but you have the quality of life and kind of the modernizations in how they play and kind of your entry points into it that is going to make that style of game more accessible to a lot more people. So that's kind of, at least one way to think about the goal. This guy's got aura. I don't even remember making this guy, but I clicked on him. It's like, yeah, okay. All right, Cass. Okay. We're going to shift into a little bit of some quest stuff right now. Let's see if we get a good name. Comnal. That's fine. I don't think I can handle the hair though. Hold on. Give me the, there we go. White. Let's just go, there we go. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, you bet, Alex. Let's check this. Let's check this zoom distance real quick and get outside. Better. I mean, we could always... Come on now. Let's try 12. Okay. That's dark flame though, Glorf. They're not like, it's not normal fire. Do we have any plans for druids to be shapeshifters? To an extent, yeah. Not like they were in something like World of Warcraft, where you actually like had to be in a certain form to do a certain role or anything like that. But we do plan for them to have several different like forms they can take on more situationally. Hold on. I think this is one of those weird things that isn't actually like updating properly. Without me like going totally out of the play mode. But I think around 12 is going to end up being like a good little spot. Yeah, Redbeard, and that's also just the tip of the iceberg with some of the new skellies. I didn't want to show too much. I think that's pretty good, yeah. All right. I feel pretty good about that. So I want to run through this quest line a little bit and see where we, too far? I don't know. I think. No, the camera shouldn't freak out or anything. It'll only go as far as, it's allowed to go. So, should be good there. I am noticing that these aren't casting shadows though, so that's something else we should probably fix. Let's actually do that real quick. Hold on. Okay. I will come back to those later. Let me set it back to what I know at least it should be set to anyway. Boop boop. Medium. That's fine. Can you clarify after your comment yesterday about your cleric to be a DPS one, if it was real, and the second expertise option for cleric will be DPS? I personally was surprised, as was expecting support for tank. Thank you. So my statement yesterday. About this, okay. You're talking about the smite cleric. Okay. Yeah, that is what we're exploring and kind of working through for them right now. The smite cleric. So yeah, like a DPS spec. You're newly bound and the hunger is awoken. That means you'll either act satisfied without thinking, or you'll demonstrate some degree of restraint. This place exists because most of you never learned that distinction. Who's in charge? Lord Ansel established the Enclave not to lead us, to prevent waste. You don't report to him. You either remain useful or you don't. Dark Flame Enclave, the Dire calls many. Some find their way here. If they last more than a few blood-soaked hours, remember uncontrolled bloodshed shortens usefulness. Cairo keeps track of the useful. Cairo. Do not mistake my summons for welcome. The woods scream because the weak still believe their fear matters. Dark howler pups roam there, undisciplined shrill things. They bleed panic into the night. Every breath they draw. Their cries irritate me. You will go, you will find them, silence them, tear the sound from their throats. Return only when the forest remembers how to be quiet. She seems very pleasant. You must have felt it by now, the rage, the terror, the hunger. His eyes darken. It matters not who or what you were before this day. Learn quickly or be consumed. Leave me. Okay. There's a point. I haven't quite finished some of this yet, so I want to just get to the final stage and try and finish that up. Joppa, any dates set yet for the wipe? Played a while back, mained Dire Lord up to 47 and used to tank 5 to 10 elites at a time. Had a blast, that's awesome. Assume DL or any tank won't be able to do that anymore after all the changes, updates since I last played. We don't have a specific date for the wipe set other than the spring time frame. That is the most that we have locked in at this stage. Nice, thanks, Bronson. All right, we need to take down these howler pups. Let me actually scribe my abilities. Hey, Bronson, while you're talking to him, can we take a look at up-resing the skybox as well? By the way, we're in the actual Unity editor right now. That's why you're seeing these abilities. They have to load first. That's why it looks crazy when I use them for the first time. I need to kill 3 of those things. Let's do this really quick. Easy. All too easy. Resisting. My corruption skill is struggle busing right now. Let's grind that up a little bit. Oh, good. Guards! Guards! They're coming. Alright. Quest is done. Hey, some people like playing with their cameras zoomed out. You know, like, who are we to say, how dare you? You know? The woods are quiet now. Obedient. You did what was required, nothing more, and perhaps you learned what fear is for as the forest learned who decides when it speaks. Go and carry that silence with you. Nearby cultists call themselves initiates of Altheros now. They whisper his name as they slice their palms, insisting the innkeeper will hear them. Open one of them, bring me what spills out. If transformation has begun, their blood will show it. Either way, they end. Hey, it may be ridiculous to you, but maybe not ridiculous to someone else, you know? I do think it would be cool for the Dire Lord tattoos to form as you get higher level. I do think that would be really cool. Okay, I'm going to speed this along a little bit. We're not doing like an actual playthrough here, so I do want to equip that. All right. Initiates. Okay. And when I mean speed this along, I mean speed this right along. There it is. I want these starter quests to culminate in something really nice, like something that's valuable for your class, either a weapon, piece of armor. This is sufficient. We will see if Altheros has left a trace. That answer does not concern you. Go, Zafir beckons. Zafira! He speaks with a low, wet rattle. His unblinking eyes lock with yours. It is unusual that I cannot see the power of one freshly marked. You hide it well, likely without even knowing what you're doing. You are untested, however. I expect little and care even less. 2 days ago, one freshly marked was carried out into the night, breaking under the weight of the power that called him. His cravings for the release of that power left him in a bloody mess among the skitterlings in the northeast. Bring me something soaked in his blood. Confirm your power does not lack control. Perhaps Lord Ansel will acknowledge the presence of one such as this. What's your favorite thing about the world when exploring WoW Classic? Yeah, that. That's a really good question. I don't know that I've really thought about that very much. And I think the reason is because will the Necro ever get Charm Undead? Yes. Oh, good grief, yes. Okay, we need to fix that. That's odd. You should need to actually click on him to get that. So I'm not sure why that skipped that part, but okay. It was auto given indeed. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I'm gonna make a quick note about that one. I think okay, so to be honest, I don't have a lot of really strong positive feelings about exploring the world in WoW Classic. It was fine. I mean, obviously things were well put together thematically. But the issue that I had, and something that I think, again, it's one of those DNA differences between like an EverQuest and a WoW, or like what we're building with Pantheon, and that is, at the end of the day, WoW was it was a true theme park to the degree that my quest journal and my mini map told me what was important, and my travel through the world was going from those things to the next thing to the next thing. The world at large really didn't offer anything outside of what quests I was currently doing. And so the net effect that had is, regardless of how cohesive, and don't get me wrong, like there were some really, really cool places in WoW. I'm thinking, for example, like I remember, what was it called? Was it the Burning Steps? I know that one, like, weak, worthless, a rightfully extinguished flame. Go. Okay. Comnol. That's weird. Shatter the Cold. Okay. That should be Cairo whispering me. So that's something else I need to check. Yeah, Burning Steps was great. It blows your mind when people talk about being more immersed in the OGEQ versus OG WoW. Yeah, we talked about that on a stream not too long ago, right? And wait, what am I supposed to do? I didn't even read it. Kill 6 cultists. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be doing fleet. We're gonna be doing a pretty big overhaul on the rewards from quests to make them a little bit more worth the effort to do. Since we don't have as many on the whole by design, I think we definitely need to improve. But anyway, to finish that thought, like there was something about, and I think Finn, you know, kind of where I'm coming from with this is like, again, I mean, WoW set a really high bar in terms of quality. I mean, the music, the immense lore that WoW had, you know, that was so rich and like in depth, and I mean, it was, and really good storylines, like really interesting things. Um, but I really do. I think it comes down to that place of like everything was so quest driven, and all of the quests were so kind of like designed and produced to kind of move you along. And there was something about that, I think, that just kind of detached me from the world a little bit. I didn't feel like I was in the world, inhabiting the world. And so, you know, you didn't have these moments like in EQ where you're just, we were talking a little bit about that on, maybe it was yesterday's stream, kind of like some of that liminal space feeling that some places in EQ had. You had these truly remote parts of the world that, because it wasn't all quest driven, you felt like you could manufacture actual reasons to be there. So like the hill giants in Wraith Mountains, for example, that's a weird place to go. But yet it was a viable place to go because there wasn't anything telling you that that's worthless. Like there wasn't anything saying you shouldn't go there right now. And so you did. And I think that's in some way where I come down to that difference in immersion, where when I'm being told what to do and I'm being told what's important, I just don't feel like I don't feel like the world as a whole is like there to be explored and experienced. Kill 6 cultists. Star, I cannot comment on that. Though I would love to. We got to figure out what's going on with the this cultist area. This is the only one out of all the different Ultherian cultist camps where we keep having this issue with this stuff rendering properly. Can you get that skill? No. Nope. I am afraid not. Yeah, Alex, for sure. And that's exactly my point. Like, there are so many people out there, probably you included, given what you've said that you enjoy and are kind of looking for, that I think would have really loved EQ, but because you weren't there for it, like at the time, it is kind of a difficult game to get into for a lot of people now, because it's very you get into EQ and you play, and if you're truly playing like classic EQ, like even the fact that you can't like freely, you know, spin your camera around, you have to like use F9 to change your whole camera position, and then there were just these weird things about it that make it to a modern gamer feel clunky. And the more we can remove some of those barriers of entry, the more we can potentially introduce new people to a lot of that formula and that, you know, kind of classic DNA, which is really exciting. Because, man, the genre needs it. Needs some depth again. You could go off the path in EQ, in WoW, but what was the outcome of that? Because, yes, you could go exploring. I mean, I remember doing that in like Ashen Vale a few times, where I purposely made a point of like, I just want to see what all is in here. And yeah, there were some times where it's like, it's cool because you would you would find that like that little fell camp in Ashenvale. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this was here. That's kind of cool. And I'm sure there were some other things like that, but it's the same thing that I described anytime I've talked about the beginning, the idea of like the perception system and where that originated, like in Guild Wars 2, where yeah, you would see these really cool things, but you just kind of have this understanding like, I don't have a quest for this. This is probably a quest area because it's different and unique. And so I like, now in EQ, the thing that made EQ interesting is when you go off the beaten path, or think of like Haddon in North Canos or in Canos Hills. Think of Pisgin. Think of things like the goblin ears that you could get off of the goblins in High Hold, in High Keep, that you could take back and turn in various places. And granted, a lot of that came through itemization. There were a lot of itemization hooks in EQ as rewards of going off the beaten path and kind of finding like rare things and special things. WoW's itemization was a lot more solved because you had that linear kind of hub-based progression. You would do a lot of the quests in an area. You'd get a lot of equipment from doing that. You'd upgrade out of that rung, and then you'd go to the next place. And there wasn't as much of that sense of, I'm going to go into this part of the world and this part of the world. And, there's opportunity to find, these interesting things that, the game doesn't call out. Out of the cult, chanting has ceased. Let the followers of Ultheros understand. Every altar crushed, every throat ripped away. The dire consumes all. Yeah, that quest complete sound is strong. It's for Lord Ansel to decide what to do with you. I think this is where we leave off. Yeah, so you can see it says well met traveler. So this is where this is where we're picking up. Okay, so I just want to make a note of that real quick. Was I a Crushbone kind of guy? I loved Crushbone. Yeah. I loved Crushbone. So EverQuest being less of a theme park meant that you didn't have as much distracting you from exploring the world yourself. Whew. Okay. Wasn't the main source, but you still could. Again, you aren't finding anything different. You could just easily stay on the path in EQ and find mobs to level off of. Both had virtually the same type of rewards for going off the path. The only difference was EQ had a higher potential for feeling it was unknown. Because, well, so in saying that, are you saying that let's think of it from a different angle. What was the difference between unrest and Shadowfang Keep? Hey, babe. Sorry about that. Now, let me make an important point here, though, because part of the whole idea of the perception system originally was because I'm not saying that what EQ had is like the ultimate expression, like the full total arrival, or even the full extent of what we're doing in Pantheon. Like we're using that as kind of our true north and our inspiration. But the whole reason for the perception system is because we want to take the opportunity where EQ provided these really cool opportunities for exploration and discovering something that was really interesting. Say, like, you know, the chessboard, for example. The first time the chessboard was discovered, and whenever players, you know, had their own experience with it for the first time, it was a special moment because you're like, what is this? You know, we have something really similar with like the I think what people refer to as the cannonballs in Aventur's Pass, where, you know, we have a plan for what that is and players don't know what it is, but it's this interesting moment where you see these things that just seem kind of weird. But where we're taking it a step further in Pantheon is like when you see something like that and you've stumbled across something, not because like a mini-map's told you that something's there or to go there, the perception system gives us the opportunity to catch you up in something when you do it. And I will always contend that there's a fundamental difference there between essentially when in the process that happens, do you go somewhere where you are told to go out, where you will find this thing to do this thing, or do you go out into the world and then by right of finding something or seeing something, then have the opportunity to kind of like dig into it? And I think there is a lot at stake between how those two things are handled. And we are doing it the latter way, where it's going to, I mean, we will have some quests that send you out and we'll have, you know, task boards and things like that. And we'll have some of that stuff, but the majority of the game is meant to be more about going out into the world and finding it. And maybe I'm just not aware of some of the things that you're thinking about Finn, where it was different. Because all I remember in WoW is, you know, you picked your race, you picked your, you know, you're going to Horde Alliance, what race you're going to be, and then it was all about just following kind of that path. You know, if I was Forsaken, started in Undercity, Tearsfall Glade, what was that, like Barrow Town or whatever. You'd move into like either Silverpine Forest, or you'd head over into like Hillsbrad. And you just kind of had this route. Same like with you know, Alliance, you'd start human, you'd obviously go from Elven Forest to Westfall to Red Ridge to Duskwood, and then you just kind of had this path that you would take. And you did that because you moved from hub to hub. To now, you could level through instances. There were a lot of people that leveled through instances. Fusoy's talked about that a lot. Like, he hardly ever did a single quest in WoW and only ever did instances. And, you know, I think that's closer to kind of like the EQ feel of moving from, you know, dungeon to dungeon. Yeah. Yeah, it went all over. I get that. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that WoW's way was bad, right? Like, I mean, I think WoW's success solidifies that their approach works. But that's why more like indie MMOs are important, because you don't have to go that same path. And I think there's merit, because there are so many games who have done it like WoW has done it. I think we really need to explore kind of the old way, you know, and evolving the old way. Again, I'm not saying we just like copy and paste EverQuest's approach to questing into Pantheon. That's not what we're doing. But I think there's reason to value evolving EQ's approach instead of the quest hub. And even though we plan to have a map, which for some reason is still like debated or like cited by people as like, I don't plan to play Pantheon because they don't have a map, and it's like, we're going to have a map. We will. But what I found really interesting is how many players originally played Pantheon and really struggled without a map. And then after like a few days, a week, they were already to the point where they're like, you know what? Like, this is kind of cool, you know? Like, I'm actually learning the world again. It's been so long since I played an MMO where I've actually like had to learn the world, and now that I've been doing that more, they were kind of vibing with it. So, but again, I mean, we do plan to have a map. It's not going to be, you know, it's going to be intentionally not like super verbose, you know, with lots of fine detail and GPS and all that, but it's going to allow you to waymake and orient yourself. you know, we need to get in like our road signs, and we need to have more helpful NPCs that can kind of give you direction and various things. So, but yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Bronson. It's definitely feels much improved. Phil wanted me to check this out. Hold on. Hold on. That's so good. That's so good. So good. I mean, like think about that for a second. Like, when's like, and maybe there is another MMO out there, but where you have like audio funneling. That's so good. That's so good. All right. No, we got the infinite door issue fixed. Yeah, that was a fun one. Not quite as fun as when all items were pants, but the infinite door issue was a fun one. Yeah, next, all pants are doors. I'm asking Kyle if we have a good way right now to... we can turn lights on and off via time of day, but I want to see if we can do it with visual effects as well, because I want to get these little lightning bugs in. Really, Rossick? That's actually surprising to hear. Come on, editor. What, you guys don't like the weapon sign for the bank? Can't imagine why. Okay. Valkron is in spring. Yep. Well met to you as well, Hibernia. Hiberna. Well met indeed. It does feel like it does get like a little dark inside. A little too rough. Do you think you'll get more people over here now that Ashes has imploded? What do you mean, Valkron? Like, on the development team, or like in the player community? Both. I definitely think the player community will grow. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that have been keeping tabs on Pantheon that have been kind of like that Ashes was their main game. So I would imagine that naturally they would, you know, be and I've already seen, you know, several of them guild wise and otherwise individuals that have reached out and said as much, and I think that'll continue to grow. I think spring will be a huge opportunity to see a lot of that movement, and maybe even, you know, spread awareness further than it would have otherwise, because of, you know, how many people had been following Ashes and whatnot. And it'll still be pretty fresh at that stage, you know, when that time comes. And then developer wise, like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you know, a huge amount of people that no longer have work. And it's, for us, it's more about like, I mean, we're a small team. We don't have a ton of resources as it is. And so we have to be, we kind of, we bring people on according to our most critical needs when the resources are there. So as much as we would love for it to be a situation where we can just come and scoop a bunch of people up, we don't, you know, a lot of these people are, you know, they have a lot of experience. They have a lot of tenure in the industry. You know, they're expensive. Plus the fact that, you know, we just have a very limited budget, you know, as it is. So my answer is I hope that we're able to pick some of them up. We'll just have to see. All right, let's do Brunhild. Okay. Will the summoner update and wipe be the same time? No, the summoner update's actually coming sooner than the wipe. The summoner update is going to be in February, and the wipe coming in spring. How big is the team now? I get asked that question from time to time, and I don't have like an answer on hand. I need to let's see, because you have the whole team, which also includes, you know, tech, customer service, HR, you know. But as far as like the actual like development team, let me just do a quick and probably somewhat inaccurate head count. About 22 people that are like actual directly, you know, working on some aspect of development. But that's across the board. That's like including animators, character artists, environment artists, VFX, design, programmers, tech. That's like everybody. But yeah, we definitely grown. Definitely grown. Got to get the whip out on the bar dev. Well, you're looking at the bar dev, and you're also that's exactly what Phil does, is gets out a whip and tries to force the fact. I mean, he just, what do you say here? Just like a week ago, like, yo, audio peeps, all caps and bold. We got RAM, we got space. Let's fill that memory with music and finally give the bard the room it deserves before Kyle gives all the memory to the animation department. Let's fill it with music. It's like, it's constant. Like, he's so ready. He's so excited. So, you know, I get the whip a lot when it comes to bard, and I am but I'm making sure it's the right time. I'm making sure it's the right time because we got to get some other things done first. But it won't be long. Okay. Yeah, Galen. Yeah, it's like I said, it's yeah, it's definitely a heavy-hearted thing. It's a big deal. Like, and it's interesting because the game, like, man, you know, and it's, I understand it. Like, as a gamer, I understand it, but there's a lot of game dev is tough, and it's tough in some ways because you have a lot of like anger. There's a lot of anger out there from players, you know, and I understand it in the sense that it, you know, there's been a lot of failed projects and some shady things from time to time, and like I get it, but it's tough because you pour out so much of yourself to get these games made, and then when something like, you know, what happens with Ashes happens, then you know, so many people were just there pouring it out, you know, maybe not have even known, you know, everything that was going on, and So it's tough. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Your hope is someone buys up AOC? I mean, I don't really want to comment on much at all related to it, other than to say, like, I understand that desire, but and it's not a rule. Like, this is not a rule. There are exceptions, but there's something to be said about the DNA of a game and how it can change when leadership changes. And not only leadership, but when you have like a whole different set of people potentially that come in to work on it. So yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing. Like but then it's like, okay, well, what happens to all the people that were working on AOC? Like if it gets bought by someone new, like do they get to continue working on it? You know? And it's just messy, and it's tough, and it's sad. It's sad when things like this happen. That's what I keep coming back to. It's just sad. Yo, Maliar, or Maliar. Thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate that big time. Keep up the good work. We shall. What do you want for dinner? I am actually curious about what we're gonna have for dinner. You know, how would that number compare to 1 to 2 years ago in terms of team size? Good question. I don't even know offhand. I'd have to like look at that. Definitely more now. Well, there's a lot of people that accuse Pantheon the same thing. Like when we went EA on Steam, they're like, they're just doing this so that they can, you know, say they did whatever. And that's why we've been so intentional and so clear about like, this is not launch. We're not defining this as launch. Like I mean, there are so many different places where we're on record saying that because like it's not like the game's not done. You know, this is in no way launch. So I think it's an understandable thought, I guess, but and like I said yesterday on stream, like our Steam early access has been like really good for us. It's actually been really good. Come on, Nix. One sec. Little puppers. Castor robes like Miss Bella's wearing ever happening? Oh yeah. Yeah. If I could, or if I just like lost all self-control, I would show you guys some robe action. Just wanted to get that nameplate up a little bit. Lose the self-control! Wait a second. Ah. Oh, she's the banker now? What? Okay. That's wrong. Okay. Hey, what's up, Super Trash? Good to see you. Star, that will be fixed. That is not intentional. It's part of a deeper fix pass that we need to do on how we're handling buffs with the limited action set and stuff. You were a freshman in high school when EQ came out, barely graduated. I mean, if that's true, well, not if that's true. That being the case, Joe Rice, you and I are probably right around the same age because EQ launched. I was 15. I remember when I first started playing EQ a bunch. So, yeah. Eighth grade? Yeah, I remember it was the summer of my 9th grade year that I remember not being able to get it until summer. And then that summer was gone. So. But oh, what a glorious summer it was. Oh. Wow. 8 years old? I know I'm a child. I'm a child. And it's funny because most people, they think that I'm like one of the oldest on the team because I have this stress beard. This is a stress beard, my friends. Stress. Aged. If you see let me say this. If you see somebody making a game like this for any length of time and they don't look aged, they don't look like they've aged, then you might want to like raise an eyebrow. Like, it's impossible. This is a truth. It's a truth. I have sacrificed my glowing youth. In fact, I want to see if I can find it. It's like a super early picture. Sorry for the aside, but now I'm curious. It's actually me and Brad. Aged like cheddar. Yes. Oh man. Let me see if I can find this. I won't spend too long on it. I just want to see if I can find it real quick. Anyway, I'll find it at some point. I'll find it sometime. Not gonna worry about it right now. But yes, it is the truth. It will age you. Okay. What is this little guy? Okay. A blob of snow. Yes. I'm gonna switch gears here real quick, guys. We're gonna do this a little bit differently. I like doing it from within the context of the game itself, but it is going to be a little bit more efficient to do it like this. Joppa's aged like a U.S. president. I read that right as my wife walked in as well, and she had a kind of a knowing, agreeing smile. Hold on one sec. All right, sorry about that. Working nights was a great excuse to just play video games instead of being social in real life. Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, I know definitely when I started playing EQ in high school, like like I said, between freshman and sophomore year, that definitely had an effect on my social life. I kind of came back around closer to senior year. Um, but yeah, it can definitely do that. I do think sometimes, what it would be like if I didn't have like a wife and children, because they definitely like, you know, kind of encouraged me to like get up and do things where I could otherwise just, you know, lock in on Pantheon and, any other free time spent gaming. I mean, I do in some ways shudder to think what my social life would be like. Project Gorgon. Did I ever mud back in the day? I did not actually ever mud back in the day. No. I've heard a lot of good things about Project Gorgon. I mean, over the years. I mean, very like interesting, very a lot of like crazy, interesting, weird, off the wall ideas and elements. But it seems like altogether it works. If you end up giving it the time to really understand it, I think it's pretty important because it is kind of different. It seems like in a lot of ways. Zany, yeah, that's a good word. Another game that I've really wanted to get into because I am so like I love progression, like I love incremental progression type things. Is old school RuneScape. I've never played old school RuneScape, and I am struggling, even though I've played like EverQuest obviously and all that stuff. But there's like in every game there's kind of that little hump that you need to get over to kind of get a sense of what the game is and kind of wrap your head around it and get to the point where you can kind of enjoy it or whatever. And old school RuneScape, I've never been able to make it to that point. So I don't know if any of you have and like it, but yeah. Try playing during leagues. Okay. I mean, I'm sure I will say too, one thing I have not done is like, watch like a YouTube video on it or some kind of like beginner's guide. And typically if I'm going to pick up a new game and really kind of give it a run, I'll I'll do that. If it's something that's more complex. Man, something is up with Odin. It is not wanting to load. Kyle's been making some tweaks to Odin over the last couple of days, and I think it might still be in kind of a weird state here. Yes, it is. Too grindy? Yeah, see, I love grindy games. Yeah. That whole limited time thing, it will get you. It will. Yeah, I think we just need to. I think we're just gonna abort at this point. This is something that's clearly made Odin unhappy. I watch people game a ton now. I do too, actually. While I'm working, I've been doing that a lot more because there's so many games that I want to play that I can't because I just don't have time. And I know myself well enough that if I did like give an inch, it would take a mile. So I do tend to watch a lot more games than I used to, which is weird when you think about it. It's kind of weird, but there is that vicarious level of like being able to kind of experience it. Wow, did you finally figure out how to load yourself, Odin? Are we for real? Goodness. Hold on. Watching the Burnt Peanut play our creators. Yeah, I have a little bit of an appetite for that. I think Burnt Peanut's hilarious. It's but I can only do it for so long. It's just like one speed. It's just intense ridiculousness right off the rip. And then it just stays there. But yeah, I like Burnt Peanut. But I'm much more of like a queso. I love queso. Both the edible kind and the streamer. And what's up, Openlanders? Been a while since I've been back to the game. Still waiting for bards. I didn't see it on the roadmap. Are there plans to have bard still? Absolutely, there are plans to have bard still. Yes, bard is absolutely planned. We just have not announced a specific date of when we would have them implemented yet. But they are absolutely still planned. What's up, Goraxian? And every once in a while, like Hytale, for example, I used to be a huge Minecraft fan. I love Minecraft. A lot of it's nostalgia, but I like it. But Hytale kind of came out from nowhere for me. I had no idea what Hytale was. Like I wasn't really following it at the point when it was like, you know, Riot or anything like that. So that's a game that kind of came out of nowhere for me, and because I saw it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to watch it because it's not really a game that I can spend time in. And I think that's probably okay because from what I understand about it and from what I've seen, it's a game that's only going to grow and expand. And so even if it is a year before I, get into it in to any degree, I think it'll only be, that much better. Dude, Fairtale is going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be so good. Yeah, I cannot wait. I've been doing some meetings with Justin recently, and we're, anyway, it's going to be really good. I'm very excited. Corsaren Steward Corsus. Oh my. Interesting. Interesting. Bothir Roanwalker. Bothir. Me, my wife, our dogs, and Twitch. There you go. That's cozy. Any pressure on your part to make as epic a masterpiece as the Kelethan music in the Tree City? That's assuming that it is humanly possible to make a piece of music like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. don't know. Veligard Artane. Artane. There's probably a few of you out there in chat named Artane, right? Yeah. All the beans. All the beans. Excited for Body of Dakara? Good. Good. With Body of Dakara coming in, is there anything coming with it, like more to see in the current underwater areas in the other zones? No. No, there is not going to be... Body of Dakara is kind of our development / testing bed to get underwater content into the game, like genuine underwater content where you have, you know, NPCs that can navigate properly under the water, combat that is, you know, in a good state underwater. And then also there's a lot of art that goes into it as well in terms of like populating underwater biomes with, you know, the different flora and various things, dialing in visibility and just kind of the whole visual elements of it. So this will be kind of the launching point for us to go out from here and do more underwater content in certain areas. But we'll be, as we move along, we will almost certainly be focusing more on the, like, you know, we're not going to be worrying about like random lakes and rivers right now. We'll be focused more on things like the well pond, places where there's, you know, a very real, like, kind of type of content to develop for that specific area. And then, you know, we'll flow from that into kind of doing more widespread stuff and the kind of stuff that we want to do in broader water. Thinking long term, if you were to make an expansion down the line, what kind of things would you envision them containing? Some things I don't really want to talk about. The easy things to say for sure are, you know, things like I want us to look at, you know, introducing some brand new classes in expansions, new races. You know, those are easy, obvious ones. We could see certain game systems like, you know, the idea of like a progeny system is something that I think fits really well as a potential like expansion type system to introduce. Yes, like the Ronin. Oh man. The Ronin. I want to be a little bit. I don't want to talk too much about like any potential new systems or whatever. I want to keep those a little bit under wraps. But no, I don't think we need necessarily level increases to come with expansions. At least, definitely not all of them. No, Puddles, we're still in early access. We have not launched yet. Hey, Bjorn again. So, yes, there is a wipe coming. It's coming in the spring. We haven't released an official date, like a specific date for it yet, but it is coming in the spring. Yeah. Be a full character wipe. So this could be a good time to kind of like get your feet wet again and just kind of get generally re-familiar with some things. Maybe think about, what class you want to play and whatnot. But if that's your situation, then yeah, maybe that waiting for that spring wipe would be a good call before you dive back in super deep. Yeah, you bet. So wipe for 1.0 also? Yes. There will be guaranteed at least one more wipe after the one in the spring, which will be the wipe that coincides with the full launch of the game. Mm-hmm. Textures on the houses? Yeah, we do. We actually do plan to do an update on these. We do. I'd like to see even some of the wood updated a wee bit. All right. I am now going to switch gears. I'm going to working on like quest and dialogue stuff is always a little bit interesting on stream because I always get like fired up to do it because it's such a big thing that we need to do. But then I'm like, man, I don't want to spoil all the dialogue, for all these things on stream. These are things that I want you guys to be able to kind of run around and see and experience. So anyway, I'm going to switch gears and I'm actually going to see what kind of solo situations for the next little bit we can get into on the cleric at this level. I want to get my, ooh, that's loud. My good, sweet Christmas morning. Hold on. Is that loud to you guys too? Or is that just loud to me? Sorry. Why does it keep doing that? It like reset all my graphics stuff too. What? Sorry, guys. Loud noises. Oh yeah, the input delay as well. Goodness. I actually want to go see if we can get that branch. I think I'm high enough level now to actually get that branch mace, yeah? Bromer. I like that question. Any plans to upgrade the Cleric, Paladin, Temple, and Avelia to feel more temple-y? Feel more temple-y. Oh. Hello. Okay, that's making me a little bit nervous. Let me just... Want to buy Invis versus Undead, please? Clocks. Go, 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 go. Oh, man. I didn't really think this through, guys. And what I mean by that specifically is where I camped out. I didn't really think it through. Can I make it, though? Isn't that a caster? Ooh. Ah. Okay. We're going. Go! Oh. Okay. Come on. Exhausted. Let me sprint. Goodness. Okay. Of course. What? Okay. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. They're going to teleport to me, I'm sure. Tell you what one of the things that's quickly becoming the most frustrating part of this game. If I can just like say it like that, is getting down from a high place. A Falling Death compilation is coming my way someday. I don't doubt it. It just... That was going to work. That was going to work. I was going to pull that off. Urgh. Thanks, Kickaleak. It was because I panicked. No one has a slow fall yet, do they? No, not yet. Thank you, Kickaleak. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, that's up there. That's definitely up there. But yeah, had I run just a little bit further down, I could have, that would have been, yeah. Hey, nice horse. Sweet. That's a nice one. That's the, oh, is that the, that's the shadow one? The shadow courser? Those are pretty. Okay, well, we made it, we made it. Down the hill. Speedy! I'm good, Ugh. Oh no, I think I might have a meeting here in a few minutes. Hold on, let me double check. No! I just started playing! I do. Oh no. Oh man. He just started playing. Are they after you, people? Oh, okay. What's up, Virtual Glue? Good to see you. Oh yeah, the fall damage was much worse. Dude, a hardcore... Dude. Do we even dare? Do we even dare try to do a hardcore run? And who would be in it? Who would be in on it with me? A dev group hardcore run? I mean, I don't think we would last very long enough to be interesting anyway. That'd be funny though. Come on, endurance. Oh, man, that stinks. I totally forgot we had that that meeting tonight. All right, we're gonna sell some stuff. Run death. Wasn't there one that we didn't? Oh yeah, we didn't. We did get our upgraded rebuke. Blessed shield. Sick. Oh man, we've missed a lot of spells. Arc of light. Oh yeah. Conviction. Where's There it is. Definitely want to get that. Sick. Readiness regen. Daring luminous. Oh my goodness, guys. Like, I need more money. We gotta go with this. These three are so... These two especially. But you get... I don't have enough money. Okay. Okay. Develop the target luminous shield. Blah, blah, blah. That's just an upgrade to my... Wait, what? Yeah, it's an upgrade to Shining Shield. That's right. We good. Arc of Light. Arc of Light. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Sick. Oh yeah. Now things are gonna start getting a little interesting. That's again why we need to get that club. So okay, here's what we're gonna do. I have to go do this call because apparently, you know, we're trying to make a game. I'm gonna go do that. When we come back together on Wednesday, we are going to be, we're probably going to be digging back in on the cleric because I just got like a huge jolt of like, I don't know, appetite. Joppa doesn't have a connection to any past MLM companies, does he? I do not, actually. I did one door-to-door, like, sales job out of college, and did that for about 2 weeks, and that is the extent of my my stint in that profession. So slow down and kill some bandits. Man, I want to keep playing. Okay. I'll see you guys again on Wednesday. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Sorry to have to cut this short. But I got to. So I'll see you Wednesday. Until then, take care. We'll have more info coming out this week to kind of keep you guys apprised of what is going on. And until I see you again, take care. Onward and upward. And I will go happily begrudgingly to this meeting. It is an exciting meeting, though. I mean, it's an art meeting focused on a lot of body of the car stuff, and it's a lot of fun to see the in progress art. So hopefully we can show more of that to you guys soon. But anyway, until then, guys, again, thank you so much for the follows, the subs, the support, the energy. I hope we keep living up to the expectations as best we can and keep giving you guys stuff to look forward to. And I will be excited to see you again on Wednesday. Till then, my friends, adios.